What I present here is what I remember of the letter, and what I remember of the letter I remember verbatim, including that awful French. It was at least twice longer. I have left out a lyrical passage which I more or less skipped at the time, concerning Lolita's brother, who died at 2 when she was 4, and how much I would have liked him. Let me see, what else can I say? Oh, yes, there was just a chance that the vortex of the toilet where the letter did go is my own matter-of-fact contribution. She probably begged me to make a special fire to consume it. My first movement was one of repulsion and retreat. My second was like a friend's calm hand falling upon my shoulder and bidding me to take my time. I did. I came out of my daze and found myself still in Lowe's room. A full-page ad ripped out of a slick magazine was affixed to the wall above the bed, between a crooner's mug and the lashes of a movie actress. It represented a dark-haired young husband with a kind of drained look in his Irish eyes. He was modelling a robe by so-and-so and holding a bridge-like tray by so-and-so with breakfast for 2. The legend, by the Reverend Thomas Morell, called him a conquering hero. The thoroughly conquered lady, not shown, was presumably propping herself up to receive her half of the tray. How her bedfellow was to get under the bridge without some messy mishap was not clear. Lowe had drawn a jocose arrow to the haggard lover's face and had put in block letters H.H. And indeed, despite a difference of a few years, the resemblance was striking. Under this was another picture, also a coloured ad. A distinguished playwright was solemnly smoking a drome. He always smoked dromes. The resemblance was slight. Under this was Lowe's chaste bed, littered with comics. The enamel had come off the bedstead, leaving black, more or less rounded marks on the white. Having convinced myself that Louise had left, I got into Lowe's bed and reread the letter. Gentlemen of the jury, I cannot swear that certain motions pertaining to the business in hand, if I may coin an expression, had not drifted across my mind before. My mind had not retained them in any logical form or in any relation to definitely recollected occasions, but I cannot swear, let me repeat, that I had not toyed with them, to rig up yet another expression, in my dimness of thought, in my darkness of passion. There may have been times, there must have been times, if I know my Humbert, when I had brought up for detached inspection the idea of marrying a mature widow, say Charlotte Hayes, with not one relative left in the wide grey world, merely in order to have my way with her child. Lola, Lolita. I am even prepared to tell my tormentors that perhaps once or twice I had cast an appraiser's cold eye at Charlotte's coral lips and bronze hair and dangerously low neckline, and had vaguely tried to fit her into a plausible daydream. This, I confess, under torture. Imaginary torture, perhaps, but all the more horrible. I wish I might digress and tell you more of the pavor nocturnus that would rack me at night hideously after a chance term had struck me in the random readings of my boyhood, such as pain forte dur. What a genius of pain must have invented that. Or the dreadful, mysterious, insidious words trauma, traumatic event, and transom. But my tale is sufficiently incondite already. After a while I destroyed the letter and went to my room and ruminated and rumpled my hair and modelled my purple robe and moaned through clenched teeth, and suddenly, gentlemen of the jury, I felt a Dostoevskian grin dawning through the very grimace that twisted my lips like a distant and terrible sun. I imagined, under conditions of new and perfect visibility, all the casual caresses a mother's husband would be able to lavish on his Lolita. I would hold her against me 3 times a day, every day. All my troubles would be expelled. I would be a healthy man. To hold thee lightly on a gentle knee, and print on thy soft cheek a parent's kiss. Well read, Humbert. Then, with all possible caution, on mental tiptoe, so to speak, I conjured up Charlotte as a possible mate. By God, I could make myself bring her an economically halved grapefruit, that sugarless breakfast. Humbert, sweating in the fierce white light and howled at and trodden upon by sweating policemen, is now ready to make a further statement, Kel Mo, as he turns his conscience inside out and rips off his innermost lining. I did not plan to marry poor Charlotte in order to eliminate her in some vulgar, gruesome and dangerous manner, such as killing her by placing 5 bichloride of mercury tablets in her preprandial sherry or anything like that. But a delicately allied pharmacopoeal thought did tinkle in my sonorous and clouded brain. Why limit myself to the modest masked caress I had tried already? Other visions of venery presented themselves to me, swaying and smiling. I saw myself administering a powerful sleeping potion to both mother and daughter, so as to fondle the latter through the night with perfect impunity. The house was full of Charlotte's snore, while Lolita hardly breathed in her sleep, as still as a painted girl-child. "Mother, I swear Keddy never even touched me." "You either lied, Dolores Hayes, or it was an incubus." No, I would not go that far. So Humbert the Cuba schemed and dreamed, and the red sun of desire and decision, the two things that create a live world, rose higher and higher, while upon a succession of balconies, a succession of libertines, sparkling glass in hand, toasted the bliss of past and future nights.